The following program was paid for by Southern American Media. Fox 30 welcomes you to Meridian's favorite TV personalities and three-time CMA nominees for Broadcast Personality of the Year. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Debbie.
And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, and look who's in the house today. If you'll scoot just a little bit this way, we'll get all of the preacher man in here. This is Brother Ben. If you've never had a chance to visit the First Baptist Church of Collinsville, this is the man who grips the gospel gun behind the scenes.
Well, good morning, Scotty Ray.
How are you?
Man, I'm great this morning, ready to roll.
Now, we've got, if I'm not mistaken, you've got a sermon coming up tonight, don't you?
Well, tonight, actually, I don't.
Who's filling in?
Well, tonight is our end of the year children's event.
Oh.
And so, man, they've got bouncers, they've got all kinds of fun things. They got like a 15-foot slide coming in. It's going to be great.
So what time do activities start?
6 o'clock.
6
That's
o'clock.
when we do it. Now, it's going to be indoors. We were going to do it out in the back, but, all the weather.
Yeah, we'll
As
get
you
another
know.
round.
And it holds water back there, so we're just going to move it indoors and play it safe.
That's the best way to do that. So anybody's invited to come attend?
Yeah, we'd love for it. Yeah. So this is, up through 5th grade is our children's ministry there. So, yeah, I'd love to have you.
Fantastic on that. And you were telling me as you walked in, West Lauderdale is what now?
The 12U West Lauderdale Red baseball team is the Tri-County champions. Undefeated last night, beating Enterprise. Enterprise is a great bunch, man.
Right.
The great opponent, but we came out on top. I'm proud of those guys.
Undefeated, that's big.
That's huge.
Congratulations.
Coach Matt Smith.
Matt?
Yep, that's right.
So he's ecstatic this morning. I'm sure the entire team as well.
No doubt. Yeah, great bunch of boys.
So check all that out and congratulate them if you happen to bump that. And speaking of Southeast, I don't know if everybody had a chance to attend last night, but the Evangel Temple became the spotlight as it was just too wet to go to the football field out at Southeast, and it was moved over to the Evangel Temple for the graduation. And I kept getting pictures and more pictures and more pictures from it. Traffic was a little hectic going up the hill.
I can imagine.
So congratulations to that class. And, before you came in during our 6:30, LaWanda had mentioned it, and it's just so strange to see this, that it's awards day at West Lauderdale Elementary and probably several other schools. But she mentioned something that caught me off guard, the class of 2029.
Oh, my goodness, already.
It just sounds so distant.
It does sound
yet
distant.
so close.
That's right. Well, my son reminded me the other day, it's been 25 years since I graduated. So he threw that in my face.
So what year did you graduate?
1998. It's a good year.
So that puts me 10 on you. It was roughly, maybe more, it was 1987 when they turned me loose at Northeast Lauderdale High School.
You didn't let the door hit you, did you?
I did not. Went right on to scuba tech and then ended up in radio. And you know that old saying when you graduate, well, you're not really going to see the people that you've been around all your life. That's true. I probably bump into 5 or 6 people on a regular basis that I graduated with.
Sure. Yeah. Well, we've moved around a bit. As a pastor's kind of like a military guy in one sense. You kind of tend to move around a little bit. And so, but I'm thankful for social media to keep up with folks. That's a good way to do it, Facebook and whatnot. But I was informed by my third son the other day that I'm old now.
Oh, you've reached it.
And the reason I'm old is that because I use Facebook. Did y'all know that?
That's old?
The young folks think if you use Facebook, you're old. I said, well, what am I supposed to use?
What do they use now?
He don't use anything. We don't let he's 11. We don't let him on anything.
In Meridian, Mississippi, and in most parts of the South, if you're anywhere over 20, Facebook is still king.
Oh, yeah.
It is where you get your information.
Absolutely.
We're there.
I love it.
Boy, this is going to be you're going to be with us all week.
Yep.
As Odie has taken the rest of the week off to go to a meeting, is what we hear. And
that's
then,
what you've been told.
That's what I've been told. And then there's a cruise or something he's going on. Debbie's going to be joining us next week also.
Great.
Filling in with that. Jeremiah Johnson joining us here. Good morning. Sandra Bunyard is up. And if you're watching from television and you haven't heard us talk about this, you can also ask a question anytime you like by logging on to Facebook or YouTube and submitting a question. We can see it on the screens while we're live and interact with you.
That's great.
Now, we want you to be extremely careful as we think about weather. Let me pull this up and show you all this as you start your day especially from the house, and you didn't join us for that first show that we had. But severe weather is forecast this afternoon between 1 and 7. Now, this is what we've got showing here from the National Weather Service. It'll drift over to Jackson and go east all the way to the Carolinas. But a level 1, sometime in between 1 and 7. And then when you do the breakdown of the forecast, we could get some showers, but most likely the heavier moving in 4-ish. It's Mother Nature. Let me just put my claws in there. She sometimes changes what she wants to do.
No doubt.
So how does this compare, standing here talking to people without a pulpit and the people in front of you? Does it feel a little different without seeing the people?
Well, it is a little different. Yeah, you get that audience feedback, you know.
Yeah.
And so, but the good thing with the comments and whatnot, you get some feedback there, a little bit of live action, and so it's not bad. Of course, the back and forth. If you do this sometimes by yourself,
yeah,
which is a lot tougher.
It is, and being a preacher, it has to be, because you are basically talking to yourself, and you do, as you just pointed out, of the smiles. You can see it on the faces as you're looking out there,
yeah.
the reaction of the crowd.
And you find your key folks that you can depend on to give you the feedback. And if they're going, it's like, oh, what did I say? Oh, no, you know.
Well, and as you mentioned, you moved around a little bit, but let me warn you this. Now, I am Baptist now, but I grew up a Methodist. My dad was a Methodist preacher.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the Methodists get rid of you quick. Like the Baptist preacher in Scuba was there for 20 years.
Sure.
The Methodist, man, if he made it 3 years, he had done something.
Oh, yeah. They on the circuit. That's the tradition of the Methodists. They're the circuit riders, and they still do it. And some of them, you know, pastor a couple churches at a time.
As we all see that a lot of and I think where this comes in was the communities have gotten smaller through the years, and people, their kids grow up and they move off. Gainesville, Alabama, one of those. It's kind of like on a circuit where a pastor will do a week here and then move to this church the next week.
Yeah, it's interesting in that regard.
Yeah.
Good brother Ron Kitchens there in Collinsville. You know, he does Collinsville United Methodist and Pleasant Ridge United Methodist right there in Collinsville. So
there you go. Support these folks. And how is this? Let me ask this: of after the pandemic, when people just kind of quit going to church, is it back yet? Have people, for the most part, came back within the church, or are we still missing a few?
Well, you know, most churches are probably still missing a few. But for the most part, I can think of a few folks right now in my mind, you know, as far as it goes. But for the most part, churches have bounced back, you know, especially those, as I understand. So I wasn't here in Mississippi. I was in Kentucky when the whole shutdown and all that. But folks around here didn't put up with it much.
No. We like to see one another.
That's right.
And that no shaking hands was
man,
the rudest thing that you can do in life is not shaking someone's hand.
Well, I told somebody, you know, we ought to do, you know, through that experience, it's like maybe we ought to consider what them Japanese do, where they bow to one another.
That is a thought. The fist bump became pretty popular there. I'm not going to lie. I get confused about that fist bump. I never do the hand thing right. I look kind of odd.
Well, and you got to be careful how hard you do it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Got to make sure who you're messing with before you fist bump.
Now, everybody may know who this guy is that I'm about to show a picture of, because, you know, after things quit being country, I just quit listening to it. But there is a country act. The guy's name is Jimmy Allen. Does anybody know this guy? And let me pull his picture up here. This is being reported this morning. I saw word of it a couple of days ago. But here's a picture of this guy, Jimmy Allen, who is supposedly a country singer, and I listened to it, and it is absolutely not country, but he's characterized that. He's got trouble today. A former employee has claimed sexual misconduct. His record label has dropped him. CMA Fest has dropped him. Also, his rep, who books his concerts, has let him go. So, trouble in paradise for a guy named Jimmy Allen, if you're familiar with that star. And I don't really know a lot about him other than a quick YouTube listen.
Yeah.
But that's headlines.
Well, that's one of those things, you know, we're so quick in our media a lot of times to cast blame. We just hope to hear the other side of it.
Yeah, there is always
balance that out.
It's two sides to every story, and sometimes there's three.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you probably heard the story recently of the NFL punter.
Fill me in. What happened there?
So the NFL punter, he was signed. He was the best punter in college football, signed with the Denver Broncos, and then he had a sexual allegation against him. The team dropped him immediately, and about a year later, they'd come back and said, evidence shows he was not even at the party.
Oh.
And so...
cost him his career.
Right. Or he wasn't at the party when it happened. Let's say it that way. He was at the party, cost him his career. Hopefully he'll get back in. But, it's just so quick, innocent until proven guilty, right? A lot of times, but in today's culture, it's kind of the other way around.
You're absolutely right on that. Where's Ben Matlock when you need him? Ben Matlock would solve the case there. More on the way as we begin this day. Again, this is Brother Ben. I want y'all to meet him. I think you're going to like this guy. He'll be here with us for the next 50-something minutes. We'll be back in just a moment.
What drives us may be different, but what we share is the pursuit. Whether taking on the job site or your own backyard, let the pursuit of the perfect cut begin. Steel's zero-turn mowers are here. Real Steel. Find yours.
Need an expert to repair a rock peck or cracked windshield? Call Advanced Auto Glass by Joey for quality workmanship and customer service. Convenient same-day service, as well as in-house calibration for vehicle safety systems. Reliable mobile service is available in Clark, Kemper, Neshoba, Lauderdale, and Newton counties for all cars, trucks, and heavy equipment. Book your appointment today for custom tinting. It can reduce temps, fading, glare, and more. Improve the safety and enhance the appearance of your vehicle today with services from Advanced Auto Glass by Joey.
If you're building or remodeling your home and finally getting around to that to-do list, before you spend your hard-earned money anywhere else, do yourself and your pocketbook a favor and check out the huge selection available at Southern Pipe and Supply. They have a large showroom on Highway 39 North in Meridian. You can check out the large selection of tubs, showers, sinks, and faucets. Southern Pipe for all of your heating and air conditioning system upgrades, along with standby generators in preparation for storm season. And we're local, Southern Pipe and Supply.
Spring is in the air at the Neshoba County Co-op, located at 338 West Main Street, downtown Philadelphia. If you're looking for that perfect flower for your home or getting ready for a garden, whether it's butter beans, peas, or tomatoes, they've got it all there. The fishing calendar says it's great at the Neshoba County Co-op, whether you're bass fishing or if you're out for crappie. From new rod and reels to getting the exact lure, maybe that worm that you're hunting. Grab a pole and go fishing today. And let's not forget about turkey season. And remember, all roads lead to the Neshoba County Co-op. I don't know if you remember, and I was a big fan of the show, Justified. Did you ever watch that?
No, never have.
As it took place in the hills of West Virginia, not far from Kentucky. It's a cop show, and it looks like they're going to be bringing that back to Netflix. If you were a big fan of Galen and the detective side of that, y'all look for that coming back to Netflix.
That sounds interesting. My wife's family is from West Virginia. Her dad born and raised there in the hills and hollers. And
so do you have a connection to all of the coal mining? Does her family? They
do. Oh, yeah. In fact, that's how they ended up in Ohio. They said, we don't want to be coal miners anymore. So a lot of that family went north, to the promised land of Ohio.
Where's Britt and Mr. Peabody's coal mine?
That's right.
If y'all remember that song.
I
remember watching Johnny Cash, and the first time I ever saw him, and it was a story about that, where he was a coal miner, and I think his daughter got sick, and he has to move to the city, and he can't read and write, and it's the struggles of a coal miner trying to make it in a different world, and that was such a good movie.
Oh yeah, well, back in the day, they were in one sense, sort of like indentured servants. They were paid by coal mine dollars that could only be used in the coal mine places, and it was just. They had them locked in, man.
Would remind you of Electric Mill some 20-something miles from here, a Doogaloo. And that's, if everybody remembers, it was the Sumter Lumber Company. And you got paid with Doogaloos. And the company store was there. They had their own hospital, own housing for employees. And if you came to Meridian, it was always noticeable that somebody from Electric Mill showed up because they would cash in their Doogaloos for silver dollars to come to Meridian. And that was a real common thing.
Sure, yeah. Well, it
Kept
sounded
that
like
money
a perk.
Close.
It sounded like a perk. But yeah, may have been something else.
Well, as we wake up today, as news would find, a bank has been robbed in Meridian, Mississippi for the second time. Now, I can only imagine being a teller and within a few short weeks being robbed again. This time, we're thinking that it could very possibly, we've gotten no word yet from MPD on descriptions yet, but from people that I've bumped into that are close to the scene tell me that it is most likely the same suspect that fled the scene last time on a bicycle. This time, he's lost his bicycle and had to run on foot. but he's pretty quick. As I was there yesterday afternoon, and again, this is Highway 39 is where this is. And this has probably got some audio as we look here. This is behind the bank. As we showed up, police were still on the scene, inside investigating what went on. This is right across from where the old Winn-Dixie was, next to O'Reilly Auto Center, right over here, right down from the Coca-Cola plant. Again, this was somewhere right around lunchtime yesterday. And again, the description matches the guy. That's twice.
Well, that's brazen if it is.
It's very. Apparently, he run out of whatever he needed and needed to go back to work once again.
Kind of like hitting that same fishing hole twice, you know?
Yeah. And it does, I can only imagine a store clerk or somebody that works in a bank that's gone through that. It would make you jittery of anybody that looks suspicious from their own.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you think about, the measures that they have to protect them. And I don't know, but it's time to upgrade that security, I suppose.
And I'm thinking out loud here because I'm thinking the last time I was in the bank, the days of the little security guard over in the corner are gone, aren't they?
No, they're gone. Yeah, and most of the banks where I bank, it's just an open counter as far as it goes, and it's.
But in the year 2023. The Jesse James days are supposed to be gone, but this is the third bank robbery that I know of in Meridian, Mississippi, that they hadn't been caught. If y'all remember, right there by Webb Funeral Home, I was live on the scene when that bank got robbed. He got away.
What I was going to say, I was thinking, like, of all the places to rob, banks seem like the least place you'd actually want to rob because you don't get away with it. But they hadn't caught these guys, huh?
No, they have not. And I say this, and let me be honest how I feel about things. I have to point things out when I feel that there's been a wrong in the world. And I feel this is a wrong. Yesterday, I happened to run into Billy Solly yesterday afternoon, our sheriff. He was flooding down rain, and I was sitting in a chair, and he walked in, and he and I spoke. And he'd just gotten back from Jackson, Mississippi. There was a ceremony in Jackson where it honored all of the fallen officers in the state of Mississippi for 2022. As we all know, we lost an officer with the Meridian Police Department. There was not one soul from the Meridian Police Department present to represent. And I say this to the upper management. Where were you? Our sheriff was there. I feel as though we should have had someone there. That officer gave his life for our community, and he should have been represented. I think there's 9 that lost their lives in the state of Mississippi during 2022. And my words are, shame on you. That's the best I know to that. And I'm not trying to put you into a bad situation, but I feel strong about that. When somebody gives their life for their community, we should have a representative there. My thoughts, you may not agree with me. And if you disagree with me, feel free to pass along your comments as we look at that. As we praise the Meridian Police Department, the officers, they're the ones behind this that every day go out. I got a call yesterday that a situation had happened near Uptown Mall at the Meridian Living Center. As I got a reporter out and the filming began, we would quickly learn, and let me show you pictures first, and then we'll get into a little bit of this video. Not disturbing, but police officers doing what they do, laying their life on the line for folks. This is the scene afterwards. Now, as you go through this is the scene outside the crime scene where all the Meridian Police Department is lined up, MBI arriving to take over the investigation. Anytime where there is a shooting involving a police officer, Highway Patrol is there also. As we look at this, McQueen, I think everybody knows Officer McQueen there. But as we look at this is the live scene, and let me pull this up and just show you what this looked like as this was going on. It was a standoff, a barricade as to what happened. A gentleman would go into the 3rd floor of this building and barricade himself in. Now, there's several videos that I want to show dealing with this, and let me pull this up and show this. This is live as this is going on yesterday. This is all the police. Nothing has gone on at this point. Actually, this has. Do you see this gentleman here? We would assume, and I don't have this in writing, this is one of the gentlemen that took the suspect out. As you see him very upset. He had to do what you hope you never have to do in the line of being a police officer. I had the videos backwards of where I was on that. But a very emotional scene there as he comes from what had to be done to protect others.
Well, when you sign up to do this, that's always a possibility, but it's always the last resort.
Correct.
And I fully understand from the situation there yesterday that there was no other recourse.
No, it wasn't.
As it goes. And I tell you, I'm so thankful for the men and women who are willing to stand in the gap in that regard for our people. And of course, a shout out to the police officers there and all of those, but also a shout out to the staff there at the assisted living. We have a resident there from our church, and from everything I understand, the staff just did an amazing job getting the residents safe and in a place that there would be no harm to them, and the police could do what they needed to do. And they hoped, of course, to de-escalate. And it didn't end that way.
And as I was getting ready to leave, I would assume it was the pastor that comes to the home each week. He was arriving on scene with his Bible to walk across the street. Let me show you this. This is when we first showed up on the scene there. This is, of course, McAllister's. And I want you to watch in the grass over here as we pull this. This is the police officers and what they do. That guy that we just passed on the right is going to come back. This is a scene here. There's several videos on this, but this guy here, sharpshooters were lined up, and you'll see him as they were surrounded the building like this. They were prepared, and they had this. And as you see him get up, he's gotten the go-ahead that the subject has been, or the situation has been de-escalated. Maybe that's the proper
neutralized.
Word. Yes, maybe. Yes. It's sometimes hard when you're live to come up with the exact word that describes a scene.
Right.
But the shades went down, as you'll watch that as he got up from that. The shade went down. The gentleman that was in the room stormed the hall with a gun.
And he was a resident, is that correct?
That's what I'm understanding.
Okay.
Now, no official word coming from either party. Of course, the Living Center declined to make any statements, and MBI is taking over, so the Meridian Police Department won't make a statement. But from the best we can determine, that is the way it was. And with everything with that, there's family members involved on each side of this. And you have to also, as you just mentioned, as being a resident there, this would give you a little bit of a trauma.
Oh, yeah. Well, you think about, if he was a resident, you pass this guy every day, and it's like, what was going on and all of that. But, a bad situation, but thankfully, those who were innocent were not injured.
And we never know what drives someone to a situation like this. You just don't know.
And Scotty Ray, you think about, you show the police officer with his reaction. We need to pray for that man. To carry that burden right there, to take a life, if that was exactly, if it was him as far as who did that, that's a burden to carry, and it's not a light burden.
I wanted to show this, and Southeast Lauderdale Middle School shared this on their Facebook page. And I'm going to share this because they shared it. Now, I want you, from the bottom of your heart, as we have a solemn moment this morning. This little fellow right here lost his life a few days ago. He went to school there. So many, Mr. Carter Fisher. Pray for his family. Pray for his classmates, of those that are affected by this. He lost his life in an ATV accident a few days ago. As life goes on, but his family will mourn forever.
Yeah.
So that's just a real solemn moment.
That is.
We'll be right back. We got more to talk about. We're not done yet. Put a smile on.
Our local headlines are brought to you by the Rock House Gun and Pawn.
At the Back Porch, we're bringing families back together for fun, food, and all the things you love to enjoy around your home. Every event starts with a great grill, great cookware, and accessories. Add in some locally sourced meat and dairy, along with frozen vegetables and casseroles, and over 500 brands of spices and sauces. Relax in our chairs, swings, daybeds, and have fun with our cornhole boards. From coolers to trailers, we have everything you need. When you see the big chair, you've made it to the Back Porch.
Your local farmer knows a good deal when he sees one. The L-Series Kubota tractor is the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA and offered at Parish Kubota with 0% financing available. Come see why we're more than a tractor store at Parish Tractor.
And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, and this is Pastor Ben Simpson. You'll find him at Collinsville First Baptist Church. And I teased you the first time I ran into you, and I said, why is it the First Baptist Church? It's the only one.
Well, hey, when you're first, I guess.
That's correct. A lot of those names there. And, of course, y'all have rebounded after the tornado a few years ago. A beautiful church if you've never had a chance to go in and see this.
Oh, we're blessed, as far as it goes. The company that built it actually uses our facility as one of their portfolio pieces as far as it goes, and just really blessed by that.
Mm-hmm. Well, did I mention we had some gunfire in Meridian yesterday?
Surprise, surprise.
It was, and let's go right on out there and show you where this took place, the 400 block of 58th Avenue. This is Highway 19 as you get off and go toward College Park. It would be just due west of there if you were heading back over. Anybody remember when the Rock House Trading Post used to be back in here years ago? Right along in there before you get to Slay Steel, back in there is where those shots and a car would be struck. Rump Row. I'd like to say that this is once in a blue moon thing, but I'd be wrong in telling you that. It's more often than not that we have that. And it's not just here, it's everywhere. Hopefully, downtown Meridian, Front Street, as you get by Tony's, he'll be open and ready to do things, but that was not the scene yesterday. This was the scene of Front Street near the train station.
Look at that.
You want to talk about an expensive water bill.
That's a water leak?
Yeah, a water leak there.
Oh, my goodness.
And it just blocked the highway there. And I got pictures last night of where they were digging up the road to do the repairs. And pretty awesome. And I should have had the picture here. Below all of that are the old brick streets that used to line Meridian.
Just built right on top of it.
Yeah, and somebody picked up one of the bricks and took a picture of it and sent it to me. And, of course, it's stamped. Pretty neat thing. Big thank you to Mike Rice, who was out there. His business is right there by that and was looking at that. But, man, what a mess. This is how much water that was just running out of there. Look at that leak.
It's flowing right there. It looked like Niagara Falls there.
Does. So hopefully that's going to be repaired today at Front Street in that area, kind of back to normal today. That's what we hope anyway. Let's see what we had an overnight accident right in the Bailey community, right off Highway 495, where Bailey Grocery used to be, where you take a left. This is where we had a motorcycle accident. We did have our friends show up from the Bailey Volunteer Fire Department, an accident with injuries along with the Mississippi Highway Patrol. And, of course, it's never great when it involves a motorcycle. It was a single vehicle accident. And they were taken for medical care. We don't know the condition at this point, but thoughts and prayers to them as they recover from that. Man, we also had Poplar Springs Drive. Boy, it was a busy night for little accidents there. Before you get to Cook Road, had another little accident there. He would just go into the house and go, y'all forget that. I don't need the ambulance after all.
Well, slick roads, it's so easy. You see the accidents pile up,
You do.
And it doesn't take much, you got to keep that head on a swivel.
We did have an accident yesterday on the interstate, 3 cars, during all that rain, 18-wheeler, 2 cars in it. I-20 was shut down for quite a while as the cleanup began on that. No major injuries by any means, but boy, if you're a fireman and you are a wrecker driver in Meridian, you are constantly going to have a job.
Yeah.
I could say that. Red lights went out yesterday as that storm blew through, and I think I got some pictures. Now, let's go down to North Hill Street. As we get past it is where the old Dixie gas station and State Boulevard. Right before that, this would be the scene. As we pull this up, power lines across the road.
Oh, wow.
But the problem happened on 55th, where a tree would fall and it would knock all the power lines down, causing North Hill Street to be blocked. So that put a little damper on everybody getting to and from. That's kind of the shortcut from the west side of Meridian to over to 39 area.
There's a pretty serious little storm cell that came through the, sort of the 39 corridor there of Meridian yesterday. Hailstorms, electric out, all sorts of stuff.
Now, let me show y'all NAS Meridian yesterday. You want to talk about some rain that came down? I don't think a lot of people realize just how much fell. Let's look at this. This is out of NAS Meridian. Look at this.
Wow.
That's a gully washer.
Typhoon.
As we get that, and again, we have this opportunity this afternoon for more of this rain to roll in. So keep that in mind. We'll keep you up to date. All the way. We're going to be right back as we take a trip back in time, see what happened in history on this day. We'll be right back.
My mama said I need a truck because this lawnmower's the devil.
Buddy, we can do it.
Need a truck?
We can do it.
Need a van?
We can do it.
Need an SUV?
Buddy, We can do it!
Need some luxury? We've got you there too.
We can do it!
At Interstate Auto, we can do it.
Rock House Gun and Pawn is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Lots of different calibers and brands to choose from when it comes to hunting rifles. Whether you're looking for a new pump shotgun or an AR, the Rock House will have the gun that you need, with a huge selection of ammunition for just about any caliber that you may be looking for. Pistols, scopes, and a whole lot more. Plus a private lobby for your confidentiality when it comes to your pawns. Rock House Gun and Pawn, located at 5430 Highway 19 North Meridian. Jackson Flowers has been a part of the Meridian area for a little over 60 years now. Now, they've moved to a new location on Highway 19 North, just 2 miles north of Walmart. You could be looking for that perfect thinking of you gift, or maybe it's just a happy you need, whether live or artificial, no matter what the need is in your family. Whether it's a birth to your time of need, Jackson Flowers is there for you. Drop in and visit with them again, Highway 19 North, just 2 miles north of Walmart. Jackson Flowers, for all your needs. And I hit the wrong button there. Whoops, I'm sorry on that. As we come back, let me see. I had a message I wanted to check here. Oh, I needed to say congratulations to my nephew. He was one of the ones that went through Southeast last night. Brian Harper graduated last night, Southeast. He's off to the big wide world. I think he's going to be a lineman. Climb poles, work for the power companies.
Well, it's a big week for our seniors. You know, West Lauderdale on Monday night. You said Southeast last night?
Last night. So we've got Clarkdale to go and Northeast to go. And I've got a list of those that we will post a little bit later to make sure everybody is aware of when it is. And then all our outlying communities, Neshoba County, inbox us with yours so we can pass that along to everyone also, so they'll know when things are going to be happening. Clark County as well, Kemper. So we'd love to know about that.
Well, my son walked with West Lauderdale on Monday night. And, you know, just a word to the folks who don't have kids in school right now. I'm impressed with this upcoming generation. I'm telling you, there's some great young men and women, just impressive, and their future's bright. And, you know, one day, Scotty Ray, you and I'll be watching them.
That's right.
You know, lead and to lead our community, and I think we're in good hands.
So what is his next step? Where does he go from here?
Yeah, so my son's heading to Indiana State University.
Ooh, that's a far piece away.
That's 10 hours from his mama and me.
How's that working?
Well, you know,
how's Mama handling?
Mama ain't liking that, but yeah, he's going on a full ride football scholarship up there.
Fantastic.
To play football in the Missouri Valley Conference there. So looking forward to it.
Well, we wish you luck with that, to handle that, especially Mama.
Yeah.
If Mama ain't happy, as they all say. All right, let's go back. Anybody remember 1936? And as we get ready to start this, I asked Ben, have you ever watched that movie? And he, like I, has never seen it. I know it's big, but Dennis Hopper was born on this date back in 36. That was what the name of that movie?
Yeah, was it Easy Rider?
Yeah, that's it. It was maybe, I remember why I didn't watch it. It was about hippies. And I wasn't into the hippie movement.
Well, man, that picture of Dennis Hopper right there, that is like, if on the scale of coolness, that's a 12 right there. You know, he is.
A lot of people love that. It just wasn't my thing. Let's see here. 1943, this would make big, and they made it back. 25 missions. Y'all imagine this, being called off to war. You go out and you drop bombs. That's what you do. Well, the Memphis Belle made it in off of their 25th bombing mission. That's iconic.
Unreal. And you think about every day going out doing that. Golly.
And, of course, they made a big movie out of that, if y'all remember that, years ago. That a big thing there. Now, in today's world, this would never happen. The first time I heard this song, I was watching a movie called Animal House. I'm sure you've seen that before. Y'all remember Louie? Well, the FBI goes, I don't know about all that. And they do an investigation into the song. I kid you not.
It was supposedly pornographic.
Yes. And they got into this of deciding that.
I'll be.
Now, would that ever happen today? Absolutely not. They would rather make up some stories about a political candidate and go after them.
Well, now you wouldn't have to investigate a lot of the lyrics. They are definitely pornographic.
And you know as well as I do of what is, and we have to blame ourselves of what is acceptable. Because in 1950, what is acceptable, Elvis was not acceptable then.
Oh, sure.
Them hips. And now look at what even the newspapers do dirty language in the headline.
Mm-hmm.
And I say it dirty. Maybe there's a better word for it, but...
Well, someone mentioned in the comments earlier there that our moral compass has been destroyed.
It has.
It has.
And you probably know this better than ever. It goes back to the family of putting that compass in people.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. The nuclear family, but having the Word of God, as that compass, and that's where it comes from. You want to know what's right and wrong? The preacher talking here. Go to the Bible.
Yep. It's got a lot of answers there for you. 1955, and I loved the movie. He was in a lot of them, but boy, this movie really, I liked it a bunch. Anybody remember watching Bill Paxton and Twister?
Made me want to be a storm chaser for about 15 minutes.
Yeah, then you go, whoop, I don't know about all that. That was a good, but it's so hard to believe that he is no longer with us.
Oh, he passed?
He passed away. Bill Paxton, of all people.
I enjoyed him as an actor.
Yeah, he was just super cool. Another guy that we lost rather quickly. 1956, anybody remember Bill Saget?
Yeah, Bob.
Bill. Yeah, got that mixed up, didn't I?
Bob Saget, of course, Full House.
Yes.
Which, is where he really became famous. But for me, America's Funniest Home Videos. He was the original guy for that.
Them big, heavy cameras that everybody toted around.
Yeah, that's right.
But he also, and again, I brought up about my wife falling, same kind of thing. He just didn't go to the hospital. Ended up, didn't make it after that. 1966, I don't know if anybody remembers this, David Houston, old country artist, come out with a song called Almost Persuaded. Woo, she come real close persuading that old boy.
I've never heard that one. Could you sing that for us a little bit?
I can't sing is the problem. It was a number one hit. It went on down into the books of being a great country song. Also, 1967, I don't think there's probably a person alive that does not know this. Glenn Campbell, well, he recorded Gentle on My Mind.
Man, check out that shirt.
With the big collar. He was really wanting to be Elvis.
I'm telling you, boy, that's some work right there, putting that collar together.
Oh, he kept his backpack and keeps him gentle on my mind. 1975, we would have a different number one song. B.J. Thomas, anybody remember him? And the song, Hey, won't you play another Somebody Done Somebody Wrong song? That was number one.
No, that was country as well?
No, that was pop.
More pop, okay.
That really wasn't country, but everybody knew it.
Yeah.
Boy, they talk about the differences in music nowadays. That would be like raw country now, but it was pop back in the day. As we go to 1980, who would be on the cover of TV Guide? None other than, moving on up, the Jeffersons.
Like George and Wheezy.
Yes. Wheezy always played a great part of that.
Yeah, that was a great show. I remember seeing that show, and boy, TV Guide, I loved reading. My mama and granny had the TV Guide and always checking it out.
Because you didn't know anything if you didn't own one of them.
No, that's right. There was no on-screen guide.
No, it wasn't. And you also had to have one youngster in the family to be the channel changer.
Well, not only that, but in my house, you had to have another one to go out and fine-tune the antenna.
Yeah. Turn a little bit more. And then if you didn't have that, you had to have the aluminum foil on top of the little ears inside the house. Yep. My times have changed.
No doubt.
I almost forgot about this TV show. Totally forgot about it, but it came to an end on this date back in 1990. Did you ever see it?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Well, I remember the name.
I'm with you on that. Falcon Crest.
Yeah, what a cool logo, though.
Yeah, they were really trying to take on Dallas. Quite caught on as big, but it had its moment in the sunshine.
You can't beat JR.
No, you couldn't. And Digger. Can't remember him. 1992, a 1, a 2, and a 3. As we all had to watch this as youngsters because we only had 3 channels. Lawrence Welk would pass away on this date. Did you have to suffer through that?
No, I don't remember that. Now,
you are kidding me.
No, that was a variety show, right?
Saturday nights around 6:30, 7 o'clock, and they had tap dancing to ballroom dancing, and
wow.
Lawrence Welk was it. It was came on kind of like opposite of Hee Haw. You had your 2 choices.
Well, I know which one we were watching. It wasn't Lawrence Welk then. We were watching Hee Haw. Roy Clark was
loved it,
tearing it up.
Lawrence Welk always started the show before the song started a 1, a 2, and a 3. And I don't think he could speak great English. I remember that. It stuck with me.
Where was he from?
I don't know.
I'll be.
It was one of those. My daddy made me watch it. And as I would grow up, I would never watch reruns. 1993, and I've got this actual postcard where Alan mailed this to me way back. I think it was 93, yeah, it was. And I've got it somewhere in a box. But as he sent this out, the song Chattahoochee was released, and he sent out postcards to everybody as this song was released.
That's a great picture right there, those boots.
Yeah, it was. Way down yonder on the Chattahoochee. What a great song that was. We would end the show a Mississippian, as a matter of fact. It would come to an end today as Major Dad had his final moments there.
Well, that was a good sitcom as well. I remember that one.
Yeah, and you go back to Simon and Simon before that with him. He was a really good actor there. Let's see what else happened on this day. 2000. Anybody remember him before he got Botox and had bunches of surgery and his face wouldn't move? Buy Me a Rose was number one on this day. Kenny Rogers.
Yeah, he overdid it a little bit there in the end, didn't he?
He did. And, as people do that, Joan Rivers, it cost her life.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's right.
Sometimes it's just best to grow old gracefully.
Well, yeah.
I never liked this show. My wife loved it. She ate it up each and every week as we go back to remember the end of 90210 ended.
You know what my favorite part of that show was?
When it ended?
That's right.
It just, as you watch television shows, if you're like me, you have to kind of identify with what they're doing. Does it fit you? That did not me. I'd done nothing that those people did.
No, Beverly Hills to Meridian,
It just wasn't it.
Mm-mm.
So, there you go. It ended today. Let's see here. 2005. Another song that went number one there. Anybody remember Tim McGraw's Live Like You Were Dying?
Oh, it's a great song.
I went 2.5 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu. I think
some great lines there.
Yeah. I went skydiving. And it does bring to mind, if you were told, 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
What would you do?
What would you do? I have a friend right now in Tennessee who has Lou Gehrig's disease. He's about my age, and he's really going downhill quickly. The disease is really taking a toll. But they've kind of done a bucket list for him. Yeah. And they're doing some amazing things, memory things, just kind of like that song right there. And I tell you, it's really helped him to endure a lot of pain and a lot of, you just lose yourself, it feels like. But he's living life to the fullest through that bucket list sort of thing.
Life is short, y'all. And you should
live like you're dying, no doubt.
Every day. The only thing that I can remember, and I'm sure that there's a lot more than this, I remember a song. I remember my sister playing it with Romeo and Juliet, Samson and Delilah, the Pointer Sisters. Anybody remember Donna Summer?
I do not.
Yeah, she was big back in the day in the rock and roll side of things.
Yeah.
She passed away on this day back in 12. Hank Jr. even sang about it. We don't all get into Donna Summer.
She must have been an icon if Hank said it.
Yeah, Dinosaur was the name of that song, if y'all remember it. She got brought up in that. That's a few things that went on in today's history. I hope you enjoyed it and brought back a memory or two with what you were doing. We'll be right back as we continue. Tell you what's happening today. Dr. John Line and Dr. Jennifer Dooley have expanded their services when Dr. Cook retired last year. Advanced Vision Center is located on the 5th floor of Anderson's Medical Tower. Now, they bring experience in the most advanced technology to the Meridian area, whether it's your first off that exam. And all of your text messages are blurry now. Advanced Vision Center knows how important your eyes are to you. After all, they are your windows to the world. Call today for an appointment. 601-553-2100.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs, your local pharmacy and gift shop, thanks you for your continued support. Whether you shop with us in-store, through our app, over the phone, or in our drive-thru, our team will provide the best personalized customer service experience you expect from your local pharmacy. When you call or message us, you are promptly greeted by the Mr. Discount team that's ready to help. When you choose our pharmacy, you're choosing a locally owned pharmacy that cares about you and your community. Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs makes a difference.
I'm Chris Bullock, and I'm a candidate for Lauderdale County District 1 Supervisor. As a former Meridian Police Department cadet and Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office Ranger, public safety will always be a top priority. As Supervisor, I'll stand with our brave law enforcement officers and promote law and order. I'll approve funding for necessary personnel, training, and equipment to ensure professional service and safer community. I ask for your prayers, and I ask for your support.
Paid Political by friends of Chris Bullock. Well, as we talk about good folks, Chet's going to come to mind with all this rain and accidents that we've had lately. If you need a place to take your car to get it, rehabilitated, Chet will do that for you. It's quick, it's easy, and they'll handle it for you. Come in, they'll show you around, give you a quote, won't cost you anything. They'll talk with the insurance companies so you don't have to go back and forth and handle all that. Get you lined up to where to get your rental car from the insurance company, and, well, back on the road you go. There's a lot of ways to get it done right. See Chet. A handshake is what it takes. Honesty, it's all there. Chet's Paint Body. You'll find them in Center Hill at 737-2961. Drop by. Just have a cup of coffee. There's a lot of people that do that.
Great place to hang out.
It is. It's kind of like the hangout in Center Hill. Find out why so many people do that. As we look around, yesterday, as I mentioned, we got, let me see if I can get that fixed. It didn't want to load right. A lot of pictures came in of storms. And look at this as we get some of these cloud pictures that roll through the neighborhood.
Whoa, man, that looks ominous.
It does. Let me see. I think I had a couple of more pictures that strolled in. Here's one of the highway I thought was just, it looked pretty good there. Clouds everywhere. But as always, send us your pictures. We'd like to see what's going on in your neck of the woods. And got a lot of hail yesterday, a lot of that sent in. It was cutting up on North Hills, as we mentioned earlier. Oh, and we brought up Southeast. I thought I'd show you from the stage last night out at the big church there at the Evangel Temple. There's our graduates there as they get ready to graduate. Congratulations to everybody who got to do that.
Absolutely.
Do you remember walking down the aisle?
I do. I do remember walking across the stage to get my diploma and thinking, man, I'm so glad this is over.
12 years of it there. Yep. Clark County the night before last, there's nothing worse than, your truck catching on fire. Well, this is going to be a bad insurance claim there as we look at this.
Oh, no.
From our friends at Clark County Hot Topics. There is nothing left of that.
Man, and they don't tell them what that thing cost,
Oh, those are, a rig is some kind of high.
Mm-mm.
What was it in Smokey and the Bandit? He goes, $80,000 will cover it. That ain't going to cover a truck and trailer nowadays.
That won't even let you test drive one for that little.
No, it won't. A few months back, we got word that over in Byram, which is just west of Jackson, that a child had fell into a swimming pool. After months, the child has passed away from the injuries that it received during that fall. And we pass along condolences on that also. That's just one of those that tugs at your heart there. Here's something. Lincoln County, Mississippi. 35 years, finally a family is going to get some peace as a Jane Doe was identified by DNA years and years later. That's a long time. The mystery's been solved, and the lady that they found in 1989 has been identified as Melinda Lou Barnhouse. She was of Maryland, maybe passing through the state. We're not sure.
You're just glad to have the family to have some closure, after all of those years just wondering what happened.
It would be. I remember seeing a story of a kid that was going to school back in the 70s, and they found his car in a river a few months back.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
You remember that?
I do remember hearing that.
And closure for that family also. There's nothing worse than just vanishing. And that kind of summed that up. As we look around, let's see here. Hoarding. You ever watch those TV shows?
Oh, man, I have. I've known a few.
Yeah, my mama, God bless her, she was one. And it has made me chunk it. Don't hang on to it.
Right.
And I was one of the world's worst about if it dealt with deer season, hang on to it for 5 years because you never know when you'll need it.
Right.
But yet last week I partied with 2 chairs that would have been perfect for it, and I kept looking at them going, I'm not going to use that. And I chunked it in the garbage. But hoarding, they're saying now, is linked, and this kind of throws me off, to people that have that are pet sympathizers, that drag home a stray that needs help.
Oh, sure, yeah.
They say my mother didn't like pets, so y'all are wrong. That's what they think. Hoarding, but that really is a disease.
Sure it is, yeah.
My mother was one of those that, for whatever reason, and bless her heart, I have to still take away things from her. She gets mad at me. But wants it in a tight circle next to him. And I really think that it has something to do with growing up poor. and you don't want to get rid of anything because you think you'll have to reuse it because you won't get another item like that.
Yeah, you think about those that particularly went through the Depression when you had to survive, and you continue to do those sorts of things.
And that is my theory. I may be wrong. I'm sure that there's some psychologist watching out there that goes, Scotty Ray, you're wrong. Well, in the backwoods, I'm pretty close to being right, most likely, in a lot of these cases there. But it is a disease, and I remember the case of the jelly. I mean, my wife still laughs about that. My mother had like 20 jars of jelly that had been out of date. I was going to throw them away. Yeah. Put it in the garbage can. She goes and gets it out. And it was it's going to the garbage. And I took it on off, and she didn't get to keep it.
She must have found those on a deal somewhere.
She was notorious for that. But y'all pay attention to that. Don't become one, because it's a mess for somebody else to clean up. Trust me on that.
No doubt.
I got a little education in that part of the world. We've got more on the way. Already 10 minutes before 8 o'clock. Where's time going? We'll be right back.
Your next Maytag or Whirlpool appliance is waiting on you at All Temp Appliance and Refrigerator. If you've been trying to locate a freezer, stop by and see their big selection of upright and chest freezers, a showroom full of stoves, gas, and electric. Maybe it's a new refrigerator from large double doors to the simplest of refrigerators. Name brand washers and dryers like Speed Queen and Amana. And delivery is available with a great service department to back up what they sell. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, and by appointment after hours and weekends.
Summertime has arrived, and Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 has the exact lawnmower for your need. If you've got a big yard with acres and acres to mow, they have a mower for that. No matter the size yard you have, Freeman Tractor has the lawnmower that fits you and your budget. From 48-inch all the way up to 60, or the X-Mark lawnmower. Plenty of these to choose from. Also, they carry a complete line of LS tractors. Come by for a test drive today. Financing available. Drop in today to Freeman Tractor, Highway 494, see coleslaw or buttermilk.
At the Back Porch, we're bringing families back together for fun, food, and all the things you love to enjoy around your home. Everything starts with a great grill, cookware, and accessories. Add in locally sourced meat and dairy, frozen vegetables and casseroles, and over 500 brands of spices and sauces. Relax in our chairs, swings, and daybeds, and have fun with our cornhole boards. From animal print coolers to authentic Louis Vuitton purses, we have what you need. When you see the big chair, you've made it to the Back Porch.
Have you been hurt on the job? Call Will Parker. Get the help you deserve. Call Will Parker. Know your rights when it comes to the workplace injuries. Call Will Parker. Call or go online at parkerfirm.net. Call your Meridian lawyer, Will Parker.
Well, our friends at Snowden Company welcomed their latest employee there. Look at here, Jeremy Chu is working there. And if you're ready for your home, talk to them today. Amanda is ready to get you set on that. And they're so confident of this, you can visit them online, take a look at the houses they've got. If it's not there, tell them what you want. Look at it, and maybe you find a house that you want to see. Maybe it's the lake. Maybe it's going down to Enterprise to live. Maybe in Kemper County, whether it's a county house or maybe in the city. They got all of this. So much to see. These signs are all over town. You'll see them. 453-3937 is the number to call, and she can fix you up, whether it's 2-bedroom or maybe you've just gotten the house that's too big. Everybody's moved off. Too much to clean up. Too much grass to mow. You want something that's small, that's got concrete everywhere. She can probably find it for you. See Amanda, she'll have a smile, and any of her friendly staff will take care of you. They're there to help you out. Again, 453-3937. They'll help you in any way with all that paperwork when it comes to that. What is the next big thing that's coming up at the church? What have y'all got that's going to be big that you're working on?
The next big thing is Vacation Bible School.
Oh, when does that start?
Well, it's going to be the last week of June for us. But, several churches around the area, are gearing up and whatnot. And our registration's already open, though, at Collinsville First Baptist Church for our registration. Now, it's a daytime. Ours is a daytime VBS, a morning from like 9 to noon or something like that.
So you could go to another one if there's two going on.
Hey, man, I'm a firm believer for my kids. They want to experience all the VBSs, and I help them out,
That's good. Now, I'm going to put you on the spot.
All right.
What's the theme this year? Do you know?
Yeah, the one we're doing is kind of like a medieval theme. So kings and castles and things like that. Some of the other ones are... there's all sorts of different ones, but some are doing like a twists and turns sort of thing, maybe like a roller coaster theme, maybe I've seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, ours is, of course, being, the West Lauderdale Knights, It's a perfect one there for us in Collinsville.
Well, what I remember over the Baptist church in Scuba was always the Kool-Aid and the Oreo cookie that you got for a treat halfway through the week. I don't know why that sticks out in my mind.
Well, I went for the treats.
Oh, they were good, weren't they?
That's right.
It was. We didn't get the treats over at the Methodist. You had to go to both.
Yeah.
Oh, it was fun. Vacation Bible School. Hey, we're getting ready for a shrimp season to kick into effect the 22nd of the month. Now, if you know a lot about shrimp and you've watched it over and over, Forrest Gump, you'll know what's coming up. I love shrimp, though.
Oh, yeah, some of my best.
That's probably my favorite seafood. A lot of people are into the crab legs, but I'm more on that side of the fence there. Can't help it. Brett Favre back in the news this morning going, let me out of this. Just get me out of it. The last time he asked, they said no. We'll see what happens this time. May not be a change, but we'll keep you up to date. There's nothing worse, and I think you'll go with me on this. Thievery is bad.
It is.
But when you break into a church, doesn't that up the ante?
No doubt. That's like the third level.
As we go to Memphis, 2,000 organ pipes were stolen from a church. They broke in and stole that. Why?
I guess for the metal, the scrap metal.
But I remember a comedian one time said, when you do this, it's like getting on the Hell Express. It's like, hey, I want to go right on. Just skip all this other stuff.
Fast track that fella.
It just shocks me that somebody would stoop that low to do something of this nature.
Well, yeah. And that's not easy to do, to get the pipes out.
No.
If depending on where they are, like that took some work. That took some planning.
A truck? Wouldn't somebody notice it?
I'm telling you, man, if these criminals would just put all of this ingenuity that they have into something righteous, they'd be something. You know what I'm saying?
You're absolutely right. It's already coming to the end of our time. I can't believe this morning has flown. Don't forget, we've got severe weather this afternoon, anywhere from 1 until 7. I'll be here behind the scenes. We'll go live, should that happen, to let you know where all that weather is. Now, you're coming back tomorrow?
I can't wait.
Well, it's going to happen there. Right now, as we start today, it is 70 as we begin this day. And from the bottom of our hearts, we say thank you for joining us and spending part of your day with us. We hope it's a great one. Put a smile on and be kind to somebody else. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning, beginning at 7.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: